I tell people my sister moved out west. You're a science teacher. Your husband, he renovates houses? You're thinking about moving, but you're gonna wait until the interest rates go down.
That's not my story.
What do you get when you cross the gritty, shaky cam action of the Bourne series, the ride-or-die badassery of Thelma and Louise, the I'm going to find you and kill you cat and mouse energy of No Country for Old Men, and Mother Russia? You get Marvel's long overdue solo outing spy thriller starring Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, Rachel Weisz, David Harbour, Oti Fagbenle, Ray Winstone, and William Hurt. That's what you get. My name is Travis, and this is Planet Recap. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to know before starting Marvel Studios' 24th film and 27th property. Whether this is the very first MCU property you've been introduced to, or you're just a casual viewer of the series and need a quick brushing up, I'm here to fill you in on everything that's come before. Let's begin. So I can't truly dissect the preludes of Black Widow without first explaining one important matter. That being the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU. A collection of so far 26 cleverly woven, interlinked properties that begin with Iron Man in 2008 and has journeyed through until Loki in 2021. So, as the title suggests, this movie follows the action-packed life of Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow. The film is particularly different from the start, as it's not really an origin story, nor is it part of the present and forward expanding MCU timeline, but rather a reverse glance into the circumstances occurring between two major events in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As prominent and essential as Black Widow has been in the MCU over the span of 7 films, we, the audience, still don't know a whole lot about Natasha Romanoff's backstory. Here's what we do know. Natasha Romanoff was born in Russia and recruited at a young age into the Soviet-based training program called the Red Room. As a young woman, Natasha was one of many who were brutally trained to become the world's deadliest spies and assassins. Natasha quickly rose to the top of her class as the most efficient and deadliest spy in the Black Widow program. Graduation from the Red Room, however, came with a cost: sterilization. As Natasha herself puts it,
In the Red Room, where I was trained, where I was raised, they have a graduation ceremony. They sterilize you. It's efficient. One less thing to worry about. The one thing that might matter more than a mission. Makes everything easier. Even killing.
so the Red Room was a brutal hellhole / ballerina school that took in little girls and spat out the world's deadliest women, to which Natasha, now the Black Widow, left and joined the Soviet KGB, where she spent many years carrying out missions assassinating targets and creating a reputation for herself. A reputation that landed her on S.H.I.E.L.D.'s radar, S.H.I.E.L.D. being a secret global peacekeeping initiative organization. S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, was sent on a mission to take out the Black Widow. But Hawkeye made a different call. Natasha traded her time with the KGB for a career with S.H.I.E.L.D., where she and Barton assisted each other on many S.H.I.E.L.D. missions, including a job in Budapest, where something apparently significant went down.
Just like Budapest all over again!
You and I remember Budapest very differently. A long way from Budapest.
Her top S.H.I.E.L.D. agent status would later land her as a founding member of the Avengers, alongside Hawkeye, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, and Captain America. During the events of the first Avengers film, the team faces against the god of mischief Loki and his army of alien invaders. While temporarily held up in S.H.I.E.L.D. custody, Loki attempts to break Natasha by reminding her of all the red in her ledger, reminding her of all the pain she caused in her past.
For that, I'm Russian. Where I was.
And what are you now?
It's really not that complicated. I got red in my ledger. I'd like to wipe it out.
Can you? Can you wipe out that much red? Dreykov's daughter, Sao Paulo, the hospital fire. Your ledger is dripping. It's gushing red, and you think saving a man no more virtuous than yourself will change anything?
I won't touch Barton, not until I make him kill you. Slowly, intimately, in every way he knows you fear. This is my bargain, you mewling quim.
You're a monster.
Oh no. You brought the monster.
Widow is of course playing Loki like a fiddle in this moment, using the skeletons in her closet to her own advantage to find out what exactly he wants. After defeating Loki later in that film, Natasha continues her killer skill set in the sequel Avengers Age of Ultron, where she is mind-controlled into reliving her horrifying time in the Red Room, and then later goes on to defeat an army of murderous robots, hell-bent on destroying Earth. However, after so many world-saving events and ass-saving the Avengers took part in, the United Nations finally puts their foot down. In Captain America's Civil War, Incredible Hulk alum General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, now Secretary of State Ross, presents the Avengers with an ultimatum. Although their heroics haven't gone unnoticed or unappreciated, some people see the Avengers as vigilantes without any oversight who cause more harm than good. By signing the legal documents, the Sokovia Accords, this would regulate the Avengers as a United Nations task force, who would oversee and control their actions. This divides the team and fractures alliances as well as friendships. It's sad, but also makes for some amazing action scenes. Natasha Romanoff sides with Tony Stark Iron Man, King T'Challa Black Panther, James Rhodes War Machine, Peter Parker Spider-Man, and the Vision against Captain America, who refused to sign the Accords and his now fugitive team. During a badass brawl at a German airport, Natasha unexpectedly switches sides when she comes to terms with the repercussions of her decision and lets Captain America escape the fight to finish his own goal. This betrayal to Tony Stark and the legally binding Sokovia Accords marks her a criminal. Chronologically, this is the last moment we actually see of her.
Steve's not gonna stop. If you don't either, Rhodey's gonna be the best case scenario.
You let them go, Nat.
We played this wrong.
Boy, it must be hard to shake the whole double agent thing, huh? Sticks in the DNA.
Are you incapable of letting go of your ego for one goddamn second?
T'Challa told Ross what you did, so they're coming for you.
I'm not the one that needs to watch their back.
I say chronologically because, as I said, the Black Widow film is a reverse glance into the circumstances between two major events in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The first major event being Captain America's Civil War, the second major event being Avengers Infinity War. Black Widow takes place sometime within that 2-year gap between those films. We don't officially know what Natasha is up to during this time. We can assume she's doing plenty of those provocative flying scissor leg takedowns though. But we do know that she reappears with Team Cap in Infinity War, sporting a shorter, much blonder hairdo. Now, I gotta say, the events of Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame aren't incredibly relevant to this 2-hour, 14-minute flashback story. Just know that the Avengers fight an evil purple rock-collecting alien, and Natasha ends up not having the best day ever. What is incredibly relevant, though, the Avengers are Natasha's family, her team, her safe place, who made her feel like a better person, who made her forget her past. Clint Barton's unconditional best friend love for her, Tony Stark, Thor, and Steve Rogers acting as her sort of trusting yet teasing brothers, an unorthodox yet perfect romantic connection between her and Bruce Banner. Natasha was the soul of the Avengers, and the Avengers was the gift she never once stopped loving and appreciating. And that's the story so far, ladies and gentlemen. I'm more than happy to make these videos for the casual viewers, but to those casual viewers and non-watchers of the MCU, hear me out. Go check them out anyway. Almost all of them are on Disney+. It's a fantastic series of films and shows, and I promise that you'll connect and fall in love with at least one, if not all of them. For the condensed yet definitive Black Widow experience, I recommend checking out The Avengers, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. All this said, please enjoy Marvel Studios' Black Widow.
I made my choice. I'm done running.